Thank you for waiting, guys. I do appreciate it. This, so this is this is gonna be interesting. So, Bug, you're in luck. Our bean our bean box is going to be a ground box today, and I found out why you can only get this ground. But first of all, a big old shout out to Grace. Thank you. And thank you for the welcome backs. Grace redeemed 10,000 channel points for us to try this coffee. If you guys are not following Grace, do yourselves a favor and check her out. And from the Beans for Bug. No. But the reason, I don't know how well it's going to come across. The reason they're ground is because I don't think these are syrup infused, because there are chunks of bubblegum in the coffee. So I don't think they're flavored infused. But so that's why you can only. Thank you for the hydrate, Luke. I'm gonna need it, I feel. But well, so you don't you still put it in the filter. So it's not like there's floaties or anything. But yeah, that doesn't look syrup infused at all. So it smells good. No, there's no floaters. I just don't know how much the bubblegum taste is going to come across. So I would imagine they're going to use a lighter roast for this, Luke, just because the idea is with lighter roasts, you don't get as much flavor pull from coarsely ground bean, because this is like super coarse. It's not very finely ground at all. So with the coarser grind, you're not going to get as much flavor pull from the beans. And I assume I should have looked to see what it looked like in the grounds afterwards. So I assume that you're not going to get the flavor from the beans as much as you normally would. And then you add coarsely ground on that on top of it, and you get even less flavor. That's why when you have coarsely ground for like for French presses and stuff like that, you're leaving the coffee in for longer, and that's what causes the flavors from the beans to come across. Look at that perfect pickle, huh? But so because combined with that, I would imagine it would depend on how much of like the sugars in the bubblegum that there. Oh, I couldn't believe when I opened it and there was bubblegum, actual chunks of bubblegum. It's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be bad by any means. I'm just curious as to, because if I smell the coffee, right, I don't smell a lot of bubblegum. So I don't feel, I mean, we'll find out. But it sounds, the description, it sounds weird, right? It is a little weird. But it's also surprisingly delicious. Don't be afraid. It's subtle, fun, slightly sweet, and incredibly nostalgic. The aromas will take you back to your coffee bubble blowing youth. I'm expecting, because it smells like bubble yum, right? Like the tape, that's what it reminds me of. But without further ado, I give to you bubblegum coffee. Bubble tape, bubble yum was the squares. Look, it was like 40 years ago. Do you think chewed the gum to break into... No, I do not believe. I don't believe anybody chewed the gum. It's weird. It's weird. I said 20. I didn't say 40. I said 20 years ago. Maybe even 30 years ago. But it's very bubblegummy. I said I wasn't sure how much it was going to go and come across. There, did I say 40? Yeah, well, call me out on my bullshit, apparently. Honestly, that description is spot on. It's very, Hubba Bubblegum. Oh, Hubba Bubba. So many good gums. Bazooka Joe's. Bubble Tape. The Bubble Yum. So many. So anyway, it's... the zebra for the 3 seconds that the flavor lasted was 10 out of 10. Juicy Fruit, same thing. Big Red. And then you lick the wrapper and stick it on your arm and it burns you. But it's definitely, as the description I will say is very spot on. The coffee flavors, there aren't any. It literally just tastes like very subtle bubblegum. It's literally there's no coffee flavor. It's so impressive. That it's just hot bubblegum. Absolutely. Liquid hot bubblegum. And honestly, it's quite delightful. I couldn't imagine drinking this all day, every day, but like you don't have, it tastes like bubblegum. I didn't think it would work. But it does. It's just got just a touch of sweetness. But honestly, it doesn't taste like coffee at all. It tastes like I'm drinking bubblegum. And I never thought that would be a sentence that I would say. So Grace, thank you for for making a coffee that does not taste like coffee. Does not work as coffee, but like gum. Yeah, no, it's strange. Like I would never drink this, but coffee is on the down low. So you're saying bug can drink? I would imagine anybody that doesn't like coffee would enjoy this. It's I don't know, because I don't think of like if bubblegum as a dessert, you know what I mean? Like the tiramisu one that we had I would classify as that as kind of like a dessert. But that was really interesting because, you know, tiramisu is already kind of something that goes with coffee. But this is just like, I can see this as being like an afternoon. You know what I mean? As I almost spilled it down in front of me. It's got a, I wouldn't say a very sweet, but a subtly sweet taste to it. It reminds me of the big old pink wads of gum that we used to chew. Like I said, I think bubble tape would be probably the best description of what I remember from my childhood when I used to chew gum all the time. But yeah, it's a very nice, decent cup of coffee. I'm honestly thinking 7 would be a decent rating for this. I would not want to drink it all day. I feel like the flavor would get old quickly. But it's a nice little change the but you can, I don't think it would work in a blend. Just because, like, I couldn't imagine tasting some of the other flavors and then throwing bubblegum in with it. Because I think the only reason this works like it does is because it's the coarsely ground. I think if you interject coffee flavoring into this, it's not going to be good. I don't think I don't think that will work at all. I definitely think that this works just because the coffee flavor is so subtle. Exactly, mother. I think this is a good, like, if you're like, yeah, I'm feeling something a little froggy, something a little bit different. I think this would be great for that. But I don't think it would be an all-day coffee. Thank you for the hat back on, Rebel. It's a B-Day gift novel. Yeah, for sure. I believe that would be a very good classification for it. It's a nice little sweet treat. But it's definitely not something I drink all the time. But Grace, thank you so much for your continued support, as always. It means a lot to me to have you in here, even though you are an agent of chaos and you are the way you are. I kid. But your continued support that you've always given me, I'm pretty sure you have done the most roast rates requests out of anybody. It's hard to say between Bug, because Bug does a lot of them too, along with Schnoods. But I know you're up there in the top ones. I appreciate all the continued support that you give me in order to get all of those points to redeem on coffees. But that is your roast rate recap, 7 out of 10. Very nice, sweet cup. I'll keep trying to say very sweet, but it's not very sweet. It is about the perfect amount of sweetness that I would want in a cup of coffee. And very strange and unique. We'll be here even in the nursing homes. Absolutely. I'll just be sitting there in my walker. Imagine that. But let's get back to the game, shall we?